Good morning to anyone that may be watching on our various different groups. And we would love for you to say who you are. We would love to see. We don't see the people's face names unless you click on the link that I've just put in to the chat. And then we will be able to see your name and we can interact with you as a real person instead of just Facebook user.
Instead of a number.
Hey?
Instead of a number.
Instead of a number, absolutely. So how are you this morning, Nicolette? I love your top.
Oh, thank you. This is a hand-me-down from a good friend.
Oh, gorgeous.
Everyone seems to know that if it's crocheted, give it to Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm great. I had a fabulous weekend. I had my son here from Brisbane. He's turning 17 at the end of September, and he lives with his dad in Brisbane. And because of lockdowns and things, he hadn't been here for 2 months. So I had a fabulous time catching up with him and going to the movies and just hanging out. And we did a little bit of renovating yesterday and spring cleaning. I cleaned out my linen cupboard and took a whole car full of stuff to Lifeline.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how in tune people are when they sort of hang out? I actually have had a whole heap of stuff in the back of my car that I haven't been able to get anywhere. And on the weekend, I found the bins, the Lifeline bins.
Oh, cool.
And was able to give them, yeah.
How good does it feel? It's so cleansing to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. And especially some of the stuff was good quality stuff too. And, having that feeling that someone's going to be able to grab this and, like it's going to be on someone's wall. I had this love, peace and happiness or frame or something along those lines, love, joy and whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, that I thought someone's going to really enjoy that and put it on their wall with their kids' photos in it or something.
Yeah,
yeah. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the importance of acting on intuition and what that does, what it means and what it does for your life.
Yeah. And so did you want to, we've got a few people on here and just saying hi to Helen and to Jackie and somebody else that we're not sure of that's saying hey. So just saying hey back.
Hey.
We'd love for you to be able to register your name because, we are all people here and it'd be so beautiful to be able to connect with your real name. So I don't know who it is, but someone said, hey, like this. So whoever that is, we'd love for you to be able to acknowledge you as a person. So if you can use the link.
Oh, it's Steph. Cool, Steph. Just click on the link.
Awesome, Steph. How you going, hun? Yeah, click on the link and I don't know what it says, but it somehow registers your name. So we'd love to see you. We'd love to see you. So thank you, Steph.
So I might just talk about what acting on intuition means for me and what it's done, the practice of it, what it's done for my life. So for me, acting on intuition is the listening to your inner voice. And I guess it's a process for everyone to work out what's their intuition speaking and what is fear or
self-doubt, yeah,
those sorts of things speaking. But I've really used my artwork practice to hone my skills on acting in the moment because who's the chick that has the 5-second rule? Wrote the book, The 5-Second Rule.
I don't know a name, but
someone who's watching might know. So I believe in less than 5 seconds. I believe in like 0.5 of a second acting on acting on the urges that come from within. So when I'm painting, and you've seen me paint.
Yeah.
I will just grab a color, grab a paintbrush and step in and go for it. Like I'm not a planner.
Yeah.
And with an intention that the outcome of the artwork is going to be beautiful, but I don't actually know what it's going to look like. I just have an intention behind it, and I grab the paints and go with it. And so the intention follows through from me acting on my intuition, if that makes sense. So I like to use that as an example of how I use it in my daily life, but that transfers over into everything.
Yeah. And I saw one of your paintings on the weekend that you were showing, and you've got a new pouring.
Yeah, actually, I'll go and grab one that I've just finished.
Yeah, the blue one. I think it was blue.
Oh, you want the blue one? I'll get the pink one as well.
Okay. So while Nicolette heads off and grabs her paint, someone's just put Mel Robbins in here. So that's the 5-second rule lady. Thank you. Hey, Irene. How you going? I'll let you show your artwork before I give my. Isn't that stunning?
Can you see the glitter?
Yeah. Well, yes. Now that I can see the glitter. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my pouring paintings, and like when I'm putting the colors in the cup, I have no idea what it's going to turn out like.
Yeah.
But the effects that come out. Like this one ended up looking like a forest.
Yeah, that's the one that I was.
That's the one you saw?
Yeah.
I'll go back so you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's super fun. And this is like ocean colours.
Yeah.
Which way am I going? There.
And your stepson's got one of those 3D printing machines, hasn't he? So he's
got a 3D printer. So he's actually printed me a pouring cup for my paints, so I can put a whole lot of colours in and pour them out at one time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
So what does acting on intuition mean for you, Elizabeth?
Well, it's a big one, right? Because intuition to me is connecting with the superconscious, which like is a word that I use a lot now, and we can find ourselves thinking. I've noticed it a lot with people in general, and especially spiritual people. People that are on the spiritual journey can get caught up in my intuition saying no, don't do that, right? And we can find ourselves in this place where we're being limited by our self-conscious or our subconscious and patterns that are trying to keep us safe, and thinking that is actually listening to your intuition.
Yep.
And I remember years ago when I first not when I first, but I did a Facebook Live on it when we were doing a business training, and I was being offered a deal that I had to really tune in. What's my intuition? Because I consciously could not afford to do it, but there was something saying just do it. And so I had to really, really listen. Which one am I listening to? Which one is my real intuition, and which one is my sabotager or my unconscious trying to keep me safe and limited?
Yeah.
And so I went with the intuition, and even though the thing I paid for, it was a business retreat in Italy, didn't end up going through, the process that happened in the middle, like there was this process that happened that got me to a different result and came to a new understanding. So sometimes listening to your intuition doesn't mean you're going to get the result you want or you think you're going for. It's the process. It's always the process.
Yeah. It's what you learn in the process.
Yeah.
That is supposed to happen, and how you evolve from that.
Yeah. And can be a different result than what you're expecting it to be, right?
Yeah.
Most of you that have, I have been following my journey know that 7 months ago, only 7 months ago, it's a freaky thing, I had a brain tumor removed. Now, when I found out about it, you'd think that you'd go into dire straits of, oh my gosh, blah, 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 and go into victim. My first reaction was, oh, bugger. It was like, oh, bugger, is that's what, what's been going on. And just that knowing that I'm just about to embark on another big journey, because my life has been a big journey, right? And so I had this moment of, I just completely tuned everything else out. Even my daughter, who had to come and stay with me, so when I found out on the Friday in the emergency, they let me go home for the weekend before they put me into hospital on the Monday, knowing that the doctor was, he said, I can see that you're checking out whether you're going to, follow our path or not, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to let you have the weekend. He was beautiful man. So I came home, had the weekend, and just completely tuned in. Let all other things go out of the way, because I had to really look at, even the limiting beliefs of, as a spiritual person, I should be healing myself, right? Like, where does that come from? That's even a worldview. That's views of others. I remember. I know I'm talking a lot, but I think it's really important. I remember years and years and years ago, a woman that was an acquaintance that I knew that had breast cancer, and she had done all of this stuff, and she was having to go into hospital and have her breast removed. And she came into the shop where I was working. I was I just sort of rented a room in a chemical-free hair and beauty salon. And she came in and she was just so overwhelmed and upset that she felt like she was a failure because she was having to have her breast removed. And I actually had a go at her. I said, who are we to think that we know all the answers? And what if you're supposed to go into hospital and you're going to smile at someone that's going to walk past in the hallway that's just about to go and jump off the roof, and your smile stopped them? Like, we've got no idea why things happen the way they do. To think that we've got the intelligence of the universe is such an egotistical thing to think, right?
That's right.
And so
we have knowledge of what is true for us right now, and what's happening in our immediate bubble.
Yeah.
And we act accordingly on that. I mean, I believe that our intuition and our high, like what you call superconscious, I call my higher self.
Yeah.
And that when I tune into my higher self, and if I'm questioning whether it's my intuition speaking or a limiting belief or other influences, I will always tune into my higher self and check.
Yeah.
Like specifically ask the question, like, is this the right course of action? Or and I'll get a clear answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I was going with it. Like, with the thing, I had to go, which course am I going? Am I going down the course of healing myself, or am I going into hospital and following like the path that is not necessarily my personal path, because I don't go to hospital, I don't do those things. And yet I got two clear words that I knew was like, my daughter said, how did you know that meant you were going into hospital? I said, I just knew. And I made the decision. And the next morning I woke up with it in my head, just get it out, just get it out, just get it out, just get it out. And it was such an amazing experience for me all the way through. If I'd gone down the other route, I'm sure.
Or if you had looked to other people, if you had rung all of your spiritual friends,
yes,
they would have said, oh, we'll have healing circles and we'll do this and we'll do that and we can heal it and blah, 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 and not actually tuned into what was right for you, then that wouldn't have been the right path for you. And it's not to say that's not the right path for someone else, but that's the right.
Well, it's really interesting because I just spoke to someone who, I don't know if it was the same type of tumor, but their friend had a tumor about the same size in the middle of their head, so it couldn't be operated on, and they actually shrunk it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, wow, and just having that split second of my own self-limited person going, oh, maybe I took the wrong route, and then bang, went, wait a minute, like this was your route. It flowed like you can't believe. I had, 5-figure payout come into my account that wouldn't have happened if I'd followed, because I wouldn't have been on that trajectory to be sitting there in a comfortable position to take the photo of my license, all of the ripples effects of, the butterfly effect,
Yeah.
And so just to finish that off, that first thought, that first inspiration that you get is that intuition, is that, higher self, super conscious. And I did ask the question not long ago on one of my Facebook threads, whatever it was, do you always listen to your intuition? And I got a lot of people say yes. However, I think that we often think that we are. If we were always 100% listening, we would be just so expansive, because our intuition, our higher self, our super conscious knows what our true nature and purpose is. There would be no more struggle. There would be, we would just be constantly expanding and expanding and expanding. And it's really, really exciting, because I'm starting to work that out, and I'm starting to listen even when my now moment is not showing the same reality as what it is that I'm moving towards.
A really good example of that for me is when COVID hit and we decided to move back to Toowoomba.
Yeah.
And because we were running 2 households, we had kids. Andrew's kids are here in Toowoomba. My kids were in Brisbane. I had my kids 50-50. The decision meant that my son had to stay in Brisbane. Well, he chose to stay in Brisbane with his dad full time, and my daughter moved here. But I remember the day that everything was starting to break with COVID. And I just Googled, can I break a lease? And all this stuff came up about if you're affected by COVID, you can break leases. And before I knew what I was doing, I was typing an email to the real estate asking if we could break the lease. And I didn't even know why I was doing it. And everything in me is like, you don't want to move back to Toowoomba. You love Brisbane. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't want to split your children up again. Like it was the
all the inner instructions, right?
And even like when we actually moved, Andrew told me not that long ago that he was driving the truck with all our furniture in it, driving to Toowoomba, and he actually had to pull over and stop on the side of the road and go like, what am I doing? I'm going in the wrong direction. Like, because we had created a life there and all those things. But if we hadn't have moved to Toowoomba, we wouldn't have renovated this house. I wouldn't have my art gallery and my healing room. We wouldn't have this beautiful base for the children. He hadn't had solid time with his children for years, and my stepson, who's 19, just moved out on the weekend. He had 12 months with us.
Who was that? Who moved
Alex.
out?
Alex moved to Brisbane.
Oh, wow.
And my youngest stepson, who has cerebral palsy, we have him 50-50 now, which is beautiful for him because he has missed his dad so much. Like all of this, my brother and sister-in-law are here. My other brother is going to move to Toowoomba in sometime in the next couple of years. My parents have a base here, and all of that is starting to become this beautiful part of me that I didn't anticipate all of these beautiful things.
Yeah.
But when I was typing the email, it was just like, this has to happen and I have to action it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we literally moved just like a week before lockdown or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And the same with when I was living up in far north Queensland, and the kids had moved down here, and I was living in the rainforest in this unbelievably beautiful, like a resort house. It seriously was 250-year-old Kauri pines, amazing, amazing avocado tree, wallabies in the front yard, like dingoes, wild dingoes. It was just, snakes. I loved it. It was so beautiful. And the kids moved, and I start getting this, you're going to move. I'm like F, I'm not move. I'm not moving. It took 6 months of not listening. And I know that's, it's almost like my superconscious knows that I'm not going to listen straight away sometimes. So it was all perfect timing. Moved down exactly, to Sydney of all places. So what I didn't want to do, and yet I know, like just thinking now, the tumor would not have had the same. It would not have been
you wouldn't have had the same
scenario up there. It definitely wouldn't have. And other things, things with my family, things, there's all this other stuff that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have listened and gone with that, even though I was fighting it at the time.
Yeah. So,
it's really, it's a interesting process. If we can, one of the things that Helen said, she said, we don't listen all to our intuition all the time. It's so true, right?
Mel Robbins was the 5-second rule lady.
Yeah. Someone's put here, that link in the post only takes me to sign up page for Restream. I signed up, but then don't know how to watch this particular stream. Steph, maybe it's something you've got to do beforehand, Stephanie. We'll have to sort that out for you. So I know in my business, when I've listened to my intuition, I think that it's so important to be intuitive in your business to succeed.
Yes.
Because there's things that I've done in my business that I did before I had physical evidence that they would work, or that I'd get the results, or that they would be a success, or whatever, that I listened to my intuition and they caused expansion. And so the same, just recently I know, like, I'm house sitting at the moment. I just started, you hear people say, I feel like I'm on this big pause and I feel really stuck. I just started to have that feeling, and like, well, wait a minute. I don't need to be on pause because of other people. What's an obvious step that I need to take? And I got, start packing. So I have no idea. I just started packing. While I'm packing, I start unraveling that actually it's me that's causing me to be on pause, not anyone else. Everyone else in the family are living their lives. I'm the one that's causing the pause. And once I realized that, kept on packing. My daughter's like, bang, bang, bang. I want to, here's some rentals in the place you want to go to. Has a cat. Let's you have a cat. Blah blah blah. And things have just started flowing. So sometimes, actually, most of the time, when you listen to your intuition, you get one step in front of you. You don't see the whole picture. So you get one step and then one step, and then things start opening up, and you get to see more. And just as another side note, we were talking before about, not being able to see the whole.
Thanks, Jackie.
The whole thing, the whole what the universe has got. the more you listen to your intuition, it becomes more exponential, right? And so the more you listen, the more you hear it, and the more you actually start being able to decipher your universal experience. Like you start thinking of people and they ring, and you see
and being comfortable, you start to be comfortable with what is evolving that you can't see yet. For like at the moment, and for the last couple of months, I've gotten the clear message not to take on any more healing clients until the end of the year. Focus on my artwork, focus on my gallery opening.
Yeah.
So I've stopped doing the events that I was doing. I've put all of my focus into this house, this family, and my artwork and my artistry, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I can't really explain why, but something's coming. And so fulfilling the healing for the clients that I have signed up until the end of the year is quite a small caseload, I suppose, or client load compared to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I'm just flowing with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch this space. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. And being open to the fact that it's going to happen without needing to understand it or validate it or identify it or label it now.
Yeah.
Living in the unknown, actually. That's living in the unknown, right? Is following your intuition is constantly being in that tension of the creative tension. And my elastic's not here. Oh my God. Where is it?
And releasing attachment to what you have created, because when we have put a lot of time, energy, and money into something, it becomes our baby. And it's like giving our baby away. Like for me, putting the brakes on my healing business is like I have poured so much energy and money and time and VAs, and at one point I was posting in 70 Facebook groups every single day.
Wow.
And the half day workshops that I created, how much. And I've just gone, no, that's not the right thing for my next direction. I've learned what I've learned from that, and now I'm moving into the next evolution of what my business is going to look like. So, and in the meantime, I got a grant to do my website with.
Oh, have you? You got it.
Yes. Congratulations. So my website is going to be products focused and have a beautiful art gallery space, and my cards and the Boulder Opal pendulums and all of those. And I can just see that. So that is also my focus in the next 3 months, that project of building my website. So
which you wouldn't have, if you'd been taking clients on. See,
I wouldn't have done the application because I wouldn't have had the headspace for it.
Yeah. But also, if you had have taken on new clients, then your time would not be able to, if you did get the grant, you'd be overwhelmed with the fact that you've got to do this and this, these are those things that, like you just don't know, and you've got to sit in that unknown, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We just got something from Helen, and we sat in belief for our new home for 12 months, and when it appeared, we just knew. Yes, you got a beautiful story about your house. What a gorgeous house.
I love your house.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So let's jump off. You've got a client and I've got a
call.
What's happening for you?
What's happening for me? My gallery opening on the 24th of September. If you are in Toowoomba, please come along and have a glass of bubbles with me in my art gallery space. I would love to see you and connect and share my space with you.
In person, face to face?
In person.
Yeah.
I'll work out how to do an online opening afterwards, probably.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you could do an online party.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do some competitions and raffle some artworks or something.
Giveaways. I'll give something away.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
What have you got coming up?
Talking about giveaways and stuff, our Women of Light movement Facebook group will be 2 in September. We're having our anniversary, and if anyone remembers or was around for our last one, we did a whole month of giveaways and exciting fun and a whole heap of stuff like competitions and stuff. Well, this year I'm turning 50 at the same time, so I turned 50 on the 7th of September, and we have a mass of people that have contributed, from like lingerie to like bamboo lingerie to whole packages. Like Helen has offered her beautiful erotic blueprint course. We've just done some amazing stuff. I don't know if we're going to get censored because I just used those words or not, but anyway. Including I'm doing a 5-day money mindset challenge with a beautiful woman called Sammy, and I'm going to be doing giving away as part of that $300 investment package to start your own legacy to create it creates residual passive income on the side. So it's just going to be a huge month.
September's huge for Women of Light.
September is huge. It's going to be really exciting. So be aware to be on Women of Light movement all of September. We will be doing heaps of stuff, giveaways, competitions, lives, all sorts of challenges and all sorts of stuff. So definitely just keep your eye on Women of Light in September.
Cool.
We both need to go.
Yes, we do. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Take care. Love to all. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.
See ya.